We all know the classic arguments of who would win in a fight, Goku or Superman, maybe Tony Stark or Batman, even Sailor Moon versus Beerus. But what about the real questions? What about some more practical skills? What do our greatest heroes and most threatening villains do when it's a time of peace and tranquility? This is a series where I answer the questions nobody asks, seeing who is better at doing things, other than bathing in the blood of their enemies. Today we start off our very first episode with a question I'm sure will have a completely straightforward and objectively true answer. Between the god-slain primordial prince of Puyo, the kindly Kirby, and the wielder of the big bad blade of evil's bane, Lee. Sorry, let me check my note. I mean Link. Who would be the better host of their very own podcast? There's no doubt both characters are beloved not only in our world but in each of their own. Kirby is the shape of a friend, and aside from Space Satan, there's almost no one who would disagree. When Kirby isn't out unaliving gods and deciding the fate of planets, he is back at home eating more snacks than me in a depressive episode and being a general lovable menace around town. Not only does he have natural riz, but most of his adventures take him through the vacuum of space where no one can hear you call bullshit. This allows him to embellish his stories as much as he wants, which you may think isn't necessary for a god-slaying super being, but this is actually an incredibly useful ability to have for sponsorships. Who's to say he didn't defeat Marx by beating him in a game of Blade Rattle Hedges on his phone? Of course, drinking Curb Force was crucial to him having the energy to defeat Zero. You weren't there, you don't know shit. What happens in deep reaches of space is kept between him and Jeff Bezos. Next we have the poor man's portrayal of Peter Pan pulling out product placements like the Pied Piper or petty purchases. Link doesn't quite have Kirby's galaxy traveling experience to pull from, but there's nothing like the hometown hero to pull on the heartstrings of his followers. Link's one country don't give a fuck what's outside these borders approach to adventure has one distinct advantage over Kirby, and that's his connections. Link is a man with a hand in the pocket of every clan, whether it's the chief of the Gorons looking for someone to push their totally legal exploding flower that lights themselves when plucked, or Lon Lon Ranch looking to sell a strange white substance that makes you believe you have infinite power, or even the Zoro selling Gamer King bathwater guaranteed to have brushed beneath his ass and balls. Link is the go-to guy for all the advertising needs. While both contestants carry their weight in commercials, the question is who can carry a conversation? I hear what you're saying. Oh, Noah, neither of them talk, aside from Hiya and Puyo. How will either of them run a podcast? And I'm here to tell you that's not a problem in the slightest. They'll carry their podcast the same way that 90% of everyone else does, by inviting a guest and responding to everything they say with nods and grunts for an hour straight. That means their podcast will ultimately be carried by who they can bring on to do the heavy lifting for them, while they say no doubt and yeah, with eye contact optional. And that is our final deciding factor. Our proliferous pink puffball Kirby does have some strong contenders with the regal penguin King DDD and the mysterious man of machismo Meta Knight, but his quality lacks in quantity. Even if it does look like Super Waddle Dee has something to say, there's just no way he can amount to the sheer cast of characters Link has to pull from. The simple farming life of Talon contrasted by the princess of the entire country, Zelda, the 4 children unseen by most of the world, and the 7 sages. He knows sketchy marine biologists and cursed spirits made of straw. Due to the volume and variety of these vast individuals, I believe Link's podcast would be far more successful with nothing but a few Hiya! And a water bottle that says Lon Lon Milk. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video got a sharp exhale from at least one of you, and have a fantastic day. Make good choices.